Hey, this is Kate from Daily Tarot Girl, and this is your weekly tarot card reading. Now, for this week's reading, I am using the Genius Garden Tarot by Jessi Huntenburg. And before we get into this week's reading, I just want to let you know that I'm going to be teaching a free live tarot workshop. It's called Activate Your Tarot Intuition. And I'm going to teach you 3 ways to tap into your intuition easily and effortlessly when you're giving a tarot reading. I'm also going to show you how to connect the cards in a reading and how to get your cards talking so it feels like you're having a gossipy conversation with a good friend when you do a tarot reading. So if you're interested, I'm going to put the sign up link below this video, but make sure you sign up. Even if you can't come live, just sign up and you'll get the replay. Okay, so let's move on to the reading. So the first card I'm going to turn over represents the beginning of the upcoming week. So kind of like Monday, Tuesday-ish. And my intention with this reading, as always, is just to get a snapshot, kind of an overview of the week ahead and some of the energies and opportunities that might be coming up for us. So we have the High Priestess for the beginning of the week, which is a wonderful, wonderful way to start the week. I love the High Priestess so much. This is, I feel like I'm always saying this, but this is one of my favorite cards, is the High Priestess. So let's talk about the High Priestess. This is a major arcana card, so there is this sort of extra kind of spiritual, mystical kind of weight to this card. And the High Priestess is what I would call sort of a card of the inner realms. So when we're meditating, when we're dreaming, even when we're daydreaming, when we're journaling, all of those things are opportunities to go inward and explore kind of the mystical, magical inner realms that exist within all of us. And I love how this High Priestess is sitting. She's kind of got her hands crossed. She has her eyes closed. She looks very calm and peaceful. And it looks like she's just, checking in with herself. She's kind of moving inward. Okay. I'm just looking at the images on this card. I'm looking at the moon. I'm looking at all this, it looks like water. It looks like a river, a path, and it kind of makes me think of flow and kind of getting in the flow. And then we have the symbol of the pomegranate as well. Now, the pomegranate is an interesting symbol, and it just makes me think of that Greek myth. And I'm going to mess up the names. I think it was Persephone who eats one of the seeds, or Persephone goes to the underworld, eats one of the seeds, or 4 of the seeds, something like that, and then has to return to the underworld for a certain amount of time each year. And to me, the underworld, in some ways, I guess the underworld could be a symbol of the inner world as well. And yeah, it just kind of makes me think of that myth. Okay, so what does this card mean for us? What advice is the High Priestess giving us for the beginning of the week? So the beginning of the week is a wonderful time to connect with your intuition, to move inward, whether that is, starting a meditation practice, a journaling practice. The High Priestess is saying that life is going to be more magical when you tune inward from time to time. And this is what I'm really getting here, is that what's important is that we kind of weave together our outer life, so the life of, the day-to-day life of being busy and doing things and creating things and all of that, interacting with other people, that sort of outward focused stuff. The important part is that we start to combine that and connect that to our inner worlds. So being able to move inward. And when we move inward, that's when we will get ideas for things. We might get inspiration or guidance. And then we bring that outward into our outer life. So that's what I'm getting from the High Priestess. It's really important, I think, to make time to move inward, especially at the beginning of the week. Okay, let's look at the middle of the week. So Wednesday, Wednesday, Thursday-ish, midweek, we have 10 of Pentacles. And 10 of Pentacles is a sort of more down-to-earth type of card in some ways. And it really is a card of prosperity. And here we have this basket full of pentacles, and this little kid is being given a pentacle, I think. Or is she giving the no, I think she's being given the pentacle. And it makes me think of prosperity and abundance. This is a very abundant card. Okay, so midweek. Actually, just give me a minute. I'm going to just gaze at this card. And while I'm looking at this card, I want you to do the same. And just notice where your attention is drawn on this card. Is it the little girl? Is it the basket of pentacles? Is it the background? Is it the sky? Just noticing where your attention goes. I have a little wasp visiting us here. So my attention is going to the basket of pentacles. And the message I get from this symbol is that there's more than enough to go around. And so midweek is a good time to kind of check in to see how you're feeling in terms of abundance and prosperity, and noticing what areas of life you feel really abundant in. And noticing if there's any areas that you feel not very abundant, or you're struggling, or you feel like there's a sense of lack. And noticing in the areas where you do feel really abundant, what's different between that and the areas where you don't feel abundant? Like, is there anything you do differently? What's the difference? And how can you bring some of that abundance that you feel in some areas into the areas where you feel like you want a little bit more abundance? I also feel like 10 of Pentacles is a card of sharing, even though traditionally I think, the 6 of Pentacles is more about sharing. When I look at this card, I think of sharing, and sharing your knowledge with others, sharing maybe resources with others. There is this feeling of sharing, almost like passing on knowledge and wisdom to the younger generations. That's another thing I get when I look at this card. All right, let's look at the end of the week. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Ooh, 10 of Cups, so 2 10s. Okay, and so just when I was talking about the 10 of Pentacles, I said, the different generations and helping younger generations. And then I love this symbol, this image here of the hands. We have like the baby hand, medium hand, and big hand, and it makes me think of like 3 generations. Okay, so let's talk about the 10 of Cups. 10 of Cups is a card of, again, it's a card of prosperity, but this isn't really financial prosperity like the 10 of Pentacles. The 10 of Pentacles is really about prosperity in like a physical way. So money and other forms of a physical abundance. Whereas the 10 of Cups is more about abundance and prosperity of the emotional realm. So this is about feeling a sense of fulfillment in the work that you do, a sense of real connection with people in your life, feelings of love flowing through you, feelings of gratitude. All of that, it kind of makes up the fabric of like feeling abundant emotionally. So that's what I get when I look at the 10 of Cups. So that is for the weekend. So the message I get with the 10 of Cups is the weekend might be an important time to check in with friends and family and really nurture the relationships that you have that you value. And as I look at this card, like the image that really stands out to me is the 3 hands. It actually makes me think of the 3 versions of ourselves. Our young version, like our child version, our sort of young adult. The middle hand makes me think of like 20s and 30s. And then the bigger hand is sort of the more older, mature version of yourself. Now, I had this interesting experience yesterday when I was doing this meditation. I was doing like a guided meditation, and I met my older self. So me, 30, 40 years in the future, came to visit me now and had all kinds of advice to give. And it was just a really interesting experience. And I'm reminded of that as I look at this card. What advice would you give your younger self? If you could go back in time now, knowing what you know now, and you could go back in time and give your younger self some encouragement or advice, what would you say? And if you can imagine your older self, your future you, 20 years in the future, 10 years, 30, who knows? If you imagine that version of yourself coming back in time right now and talking to you, what do you think your future self would say? What advice might your future self have for you? It's kind of an interesting thing to consider. Okay, so I'm going to quickly look at all 3 of these cards. And my cat Henry was out here just a minute ago. I was going to show him to you because he's so cute, but I think he's disappeared again. Okay, so I'm going to look at all 3 cards together and see if there's any symbols or anything that's like popping out at me. I just love how positive all these cards are. I mean, these are all warm, fuzzy feelings all around. And I feel like the High Priestess makes me feel warm and fuzzy because she's connecting with herself. She's connecting with the deeper part of herself and the deeper undercurrents of life. So this is about connecting with yourself first. And once you're connected to yourself, it's easy for you to connect to all the different parts of your life and all your different parts of yourself and others as well. So once you're connected to yourself, you can really connect to your day-to-day life better. You can make decisions better. And I'm also just noticing like all the hands. I'm just really noticing all of a sudden all the hands in these cards. The hands of the High Priestess, they're kind of like this, they're sort of making a basket that's holding the fruit, all the different hands in the 10 of Pentacles, the hands in the 10 of Cups. I do feel like this week is definitely a week of reaching out, helping others, connecting with others. But the first step is, the High Priestess here. The first step is connecting with yourself first. Once you connect with yourself, it's much easier to make those other connections. So that's what I'm getting. Now, the fact we got 2 10s, the 10s symbolize the end of the suit. So the 10 is the last number in each suit. And so it can represent like a completion of sort, coming full circle, tying up loose ends. So there might be a little bit of that you might be focused on as well this week, tying up loose ends, closing the door on something. These cards aren't about letting go. It's not like that, but it's about kind of coming full circle, completing certain things. All right, so looks like an exciting week. Feels very positive. I'm looking forward to it. Excited about the week ahead. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Feel free to add your own 2 cents here. In the comment section, you can add your own interpretations if you feel drawn to do that. And I just want to say good luck this week. Have fun. And don't forget to sign up for my free tarot workshop, Activate Your Tarot Intuition. It's going to be super fun. And it happens on Tuesday afternoon at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Again, there'll be a replay, but hopefully you can come hang out with me. It's going to be a lot of fun. So hope to see you there. Okay, bye-bye.